Hello, welcome to Sportscast Podcast. This week we'll round up the Premier League and Formula One news and action like we usually do, touch on the Golf Masters live from Augusta, as well as talk about a very unique version of hockey with James. Join us now.
Hello. Hi. James, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Jordan, well?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Good. I think, for me, the best place to start is to end on what I said last week, is that I can't wait for James to be back and talk all things Arsenal.
I'll go then, shall I?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I did watch the game. I watched the game. I watched about 50, 60 minutes of it. And first half, I thought was a brilliant half of football. I thought both teams were doing well. They were attacking well. Some really good chances. Great save by Martinez in the Villa goal. And then I was keeping an eye on it, and I was thinking, okay, so 80 minutes gone, 0-0. I'll take the point. Happy days. And then what a shit show. 2-0.
Let's just take one thing into account. The second goal was phenomenal. Lovely little chip. I think it took a bit of a deflection. But again, going back to what we said a couple of weeks ago with when you played Man City, when you were 2-0 down effectively and 90th minute, you're passing the ball around the edge of the area. And I only really saw early on Havertz trying to have a pop from outside the area. Everything's just tick-a-tack around the edge of the area. It's 2-0 down at home with Liverpool dropping points earlier on in the day. Why are you not pushing?
It's ever so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not.
Liverpool dropped points. All right, City got a good win yesterday, but it was against Luton, so it was, with all due respect to Luton, they're not quite up to the calibre of City, are they? But
no,
with Liverpool dropping points, this was as Arsenal, it was the prime time for really go for it, and really show some. Yeah, we want this championship, we want this title, and then they just bottled it.
I think the only saving grace is it was a top 4 team, effectively. Villa, put themselves 3 points ahead of Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, Villa are no slouches, are they? They've played really well this year. They've had some good results. They're in European football as well. So I mean, they've done really, really well. I just did not see a 2-0 loss at home at all.
No. I think there have been a few of Jordan's coupons being busted in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was. I mean, West Ham lost as well, so that was a shock. West Ham losing at home to Fulham.
Yeah.
It was a really good weekend actually for football this weekend. You've had, Spurs, brilliant. They lost 4-0, got absolutely hammered by Newcastle.
Yeah, they did.
I watched the Bournemouth United game last night. Yeah. That was a good game. I think Bournemouth were unlucky not to get the win. To be honest with you.
Yeah, from what I know, me and Jordan caught the end of it, and it seemed like there was a bit of dubious stuff towards the end, but there is in every game, and I think Man United dropping points. Probably not a surprise at Bournemouth. I guess against the lower teams, I think they do struggle. I think as well yesterday, just to point out, Wrexham bagging back-to-back promotions. Stockport,
both Wrexham and Stockport both got promoted yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Back-to-back promotions, though. That's incredible. And I'll be honest, I was talking to someone last week, and Ipswich could be on the verge of back-to-back promotions out of the from League One to Championship to Premiership, which is an incredible achievement. But Wrexham have gone and done. There's arguably, I would say Ipswich is more impressive because the Championship's, a much more competitive division. But
well, your boys got a good win yesterday. Against Leeds.
I'll tell you what, that was a soak up pressure and counter attack kind of game.
Yeah,
we did exactly that. Yeah, I could, if I was Leeds, I'd feel hard done by, but we really hit them on the counter and just shut up shop. So
yeah, no, there was a lot of goals yesterday throughout the leagues. Doncaster 4-0, Exeter beating Port Vale 4-2, Oxford smashing Peterborough 5-0. There was lots and lots of goals yesterday.
Yeah. It gets the silly season though, doesn't it? I mean, you look at like the championship table, and you've got the top three teams 89, 88, 87. Then Southampton in fourth place with 81, but they've got 2 games in hand, which would put them joint with Leeds. And all right, yeah, the gap to 5th and 6th, and Norwich have got themselves a 6-point cushion there. But then the relegation battle, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, all outside of relegation, within 5 points. Blackburn at the top of that with yesterday, which was huge. So it's really, really spicy.
It is really good. I mean, from seventh down to 15th, they've pretty much shut up shop now, ain't they? They know, right, we're not going to get up, we're not going to go down, let's just play it out. But you're right, from that, Millwall sitting on 50 points at 16th, down to 23rd, Sheffield Wednesday, who got a draw yesterday as well, picking up a point. It is so tight. There's 6 points between them, and that's anyone. I mean, you could still have your likes of Plymouth and QPR go down,
Yeah.
Great win for Birmingham as well yesterday against Coventry. That was very much needed for Birmingham. That put them over. So that was
and that put Coventry out of playoff sort of contention. One sort of little talking point from there was a midweek fixture, West Brom Rotherham. Has anyone seen anything?
No.
There was a shot from about 25, 30 yards out. I know you're not used to seeing that.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're going to say. I saw this.
Have you seen this? James, he's sort of cut inside and he sort of dropped a shot on his defender, and he's had a shot from about 25 to 30 yards out, and it's hit this Rotherham player flush in the head. And the Rotherham player must be, Jordan, 2 to 3 yards outside of the area.
Yeah.
He wasn't the last defender, but there was a defender behind him that was maybe 1 foot inside of the area. And the refs give a penalty.
Really?
It's the weirdest decision I think I've seen. I think the ref had a tenner on penalty, West Brom penalty 1-0. Because what was your thing of it, Jordan? I mean,
it's just there's no other way to describe it other than a complete error by the error of judgment by the fit match officials. Like it's not a penalty. It's not even a free kick.
It's not even a handball. No,
it's not even a handball. It's just literally a complete error of judgment. I don't know what the ref saw. Maybe he saw the hand up in the air, or whether he saw he was looking at the wrong player, and as he glanced back, there was a handball. I don't know. What I do know is it is absolutely stonewalled not a penalty.
It's the most. It's got to be inclusive of Saka midweek against Bayern Munich. It's the most non-penalty you've seen in a very long time.
What did you think that wasn't a penalty with Saka?
No, I don't know.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm not thinking about Saka. I'm thinking about the keeper rolling it to the passing it
to Gabriel. That was a penalty, but there is some terminology in there which may save Arsenal. The terminology around intentional, it's something like intentional progression of the game. So, did Gabriel intentionally pick it up to take away pressure or something stupid like that? And I genuinely believe he thought the ball had rolled to him. I don't think he realised Raya kicked it. I don't. But it was a penalty. It's tough. But then Saka's wasn't a penalty at the other end. James is going to tell us the opposite to both. But I don't think it was a penalty. I think he's cut inside. I think he's left his leg hanging out for Neuer.
Absolutely. But that's happening more and more every week with everybody. It's not.
Well, Liverpool,
it's...
Man United last week.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott went over for the penalty for Salah, and that was exactly the same. He's dragged his foot. He's not even picked his foot up. He's dragged his foot to initiate contact, but it was going down before contact. That is not a penalty. Contact is not penalty.
It is a contact sport, essentially.
Yeah. But going on to a non-contact sport, there's been quite a bit to come out of Formula One this week. I don't know what you've seen, Jordan, what you haven't seen.
Has there?
So,
I have not seen this.
So we discussed something last week around the Australian Grand Prix. What did we say?
We want it to be the first race of the season.
And guess what, Jordan?
Oh, really? It's going back to the first race?
Yeah.
It's back.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's back as the first race. They're going to do Melbourne, China, Japan, then Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, because Ramadan falls in the start of the season next year. So, whereas this week they started it was just before, so they just did the Saturdays before Ramadan. They can't do that next year. So, we are back to Australia first. And there was also another one of Fernando Alonso extending his contract to Aston Martin.
Yeah, I did see that one. Yeah.
Do you think this is ploy so that he can turn around and say that his son has beaten Fernando Alonso in an F1 car and just to keep him racing for as long as possible?
No,
just don't get it.
No, I don't think so. I genuinely think that Lance is a winner. He wants to win. He wants that Formula One team to be a success. And I think he knows that actually Fernando is going to be the most likely candidate for a race winner. And he knows that. And I think Lance knows that as well. However, 2026 is the end of 2026 is a really weird contract for him to sign. We're going into the new regulations. If he's physically fit and healthy and he wants to continue to race after 2025 into the 2026 season and the new regulations, I would have thought he would have wanted to have kept his options open
for that first season
for a Porsche or for an Audi.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe Lawrence didn't want that.
Maybe Lawrence
That's
has
why
gone, here's a fat stack. Would you like to stay with us?
Yeah, if you don't, hurrah.
Yeah, if you don't, then say goodbye to your legs.
You don't get. I don't condone any of that. But the big rumor is they reckon that before the weekend. But my problem is my source is a really bad source. Is that Sainz is signing to Merc?
I would like that. I would really like that. I think Sainz has been given the shit end of the stick. 100%, he's been given a really, really bad deal. Unfortunately, he, in my opinion, is the better racing driver out of him and Charles Leclerc. He has produced the only 2 race wins other than Max Verstappen in the last 30 races. I just think that he deserves a drive for next year, but not a Williams and not a Haas. He deserves a good competitive racing car because he's only young and he deserves a good seat.
I saw a post, and I think it was Will Buxton that put it on before on Twitter, and it was a snippet that it was before the Australian Grand Prix where they predicted what they thought was going to be the lineup for next year. So you had Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Hamilton, Alonso and Stroll. At Williams, they had Albon and Gasly. What's the cash app?
The RBs.
No, not the RB. The
Kick
green
Sauber.
Kick Sauber. Sainz and Maloney.
See, that would be crucifixion for Carlos Sainz. That is the type of move that I do not want to see Carlos Sainz forced to make.
Horrific. And then you had Russell Antonelli in the Mercedes, Norris Piastri, Ocon and Doohan in the Alpine. In the RBs, you had Liam Lawson and Hadjar. And then in the Haas, Behrman and Hulkenberg.
So whose is this? Who wrote this?
This was what F1 had. They'd done a little bit of a. This is what we think for next year.
It's very romanticised. It's very like
it's Will Buxton. It's Will Buxton.
Yeah, it's very romanticised. I do not see in a million years Ollie Behrman racing for Haas. Like what?
And Sainz for Sauber.
No, not in a million years. Well, I think Carlos Sainz needs to stay in Formula One, so must take any seat. But I don't think that Yuki Tsunoda deserves to lose his seat or wherever they've ended up putting him. I think he's doing a good job, and I don't think that whoever was alongside Liam Lawson deserves that more than Yuki. In my opinion, I think Yuki's been fantastic this season so far.
Yeah, he has. I think Yuki will be hard done by if he hasn't got a race for next year. He's come on a little bit.
He's calmed down as well. Like he's super calm.
Yeah,
super calm, super respectful now to his team. His team banged in like a 2.1 second pit stop or something daft like that. Last race, and he thanked them. And the commentators were like, "Is that sarcasm? Is he angry, or is he just being genuinely grateful?" And the answer was genuinely grateful. Like
grateful.
It got him out in front of the pack that he was fighting. So, I like Yuki, but I think whatever that is a lot of shit.
No, that's interesting. Masters, Scotty Scheffler teeing off shortly, leading the pack. It's my favourite event of the year, Masters golfing event anyway. The nicest course you could ever play. It's been a bit all over this year. The course has been a bit hammered, but you've got John Rahm, reigning champion, who was my pick for the title at 4 over, so he's 11 shots behind. So wow. Don't ever listen to my top tips.
It just shows you how difficult of a course it is, though. I think you've got to be on your absolute A game, and you've got to turn up that morning for 4 mornings in a row, knowing that you are going to play the best golf of your life. Because the greens change every year. The speed of the greens, the hardness of the fairways, like obviously the wind and stuff like that is variable anyway. But these are the best golfers in the world. But this is the course.
So another thing I want to touch on with it is, James, I'm not sure how much your golfing knowledge has evolved, but
put the ball in the hole, don't you?
Well, I've played golf with you. I say I played golf with you. I played golf. You went for a long walk across a lake, but
absolutely. With alligators in, I must add.
Yeah, but every time we played golf, when we played more local, I'm sure after 14 holes you threw your clubs across the course and walked home. But
yeah, probably.
But Bryson DeChambeau, he's still fairly youngish in terms of golf. He's like a biomechanical engineer. He's super clever, and it all got a bit heated a few years ago. He come in with an extra length on his driver, and everyone were a bit like, "Well, that's a bit unfair." He is playing this round. Bear in mind, he's 3 under, so he's only 4 behind. It's just teed off. He's playing this round with a set of 3D printed clubs that the PGA signed off on Tuesday.
Wow.
So if they hadn't have signed him off, he'd have had to play with clubs he's probably not been playing with, because he's been training and practicing with these 3D clubs. And apparently it's got a better face for like for the connection, so there's less chance of going left and rights, and he's gone away and done this.
It's interesting. It's really interesting that you've got your big club manufacturers, Ping and TaylorMade and things like that. Who makes the 3D clubs? Do you know, or is it like a specific?
I think it's something he's done.
Yeah. So this is the interesting thing. So if this dude has managed to completely revolutionize the way in which we manufacture top of the range golf clubs from his back bedroom, and then goes and bangs in a top 10 performance at the Masters with them, that will be serious stuff for the likes of Ping and TaylorMade and the big club manufacturers.
Yeah,
that could be huge.
Huge. and it's not like it's someone that's had a bash at it. It's Bryson DeChambeau. Do you know what I mean? It's not someone that if it's just someone having a go, no, it's never going to take off. Someone's fighting for the Masters with them.
Yeah.
Really weird, really, really weird. So, but yeah, I can't really see Scotty Scheffler throwing that away. If I'm honest, I think that's near gone sorted. I think that's him done. So, next week is my favourite event of the year. So don't get too excited, guys. It's the World Snooker Championship.
Oh, sorry, you mentioned snooker. So
yeah. It's I don't know what you're on about.
I thought Ronnie O'Sullivan was in the room for a minute then.
It's one of my favourites. So, have you come across anything edgy, James, at the minute?
Well, yeah. I'll tell you what spiked my interest the other day, and it might spike yours as well, because you used to play a bit of this when you were a little bit younger. But it's hockey, but it's unicycle hockey.
and you took the piss out of snooker.
Well, this looks good.
Right.
Where snooker's. So it's played. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's played on unicycles, but it's also around the rules of ice hockey. So I think the only way you can commit a foul is if you put the stick under or through someone else's wheel.
Which would be my first point of call.
Oh, yeah, that would be funny to see. But yeah, there's no goalkeeper as well, so it's like a rush goalkeeper type style as well. So there's 5 players on each team. And yeah, it is just, let's get a tennis ball, let's get some sticks, ride around on unicycles and play hockey, and every now and again have a bit of a punch up.
I played hockey to a good level, and
yes,
but unicycling master the same. In fact, there's a really funny story, Jordan. We, as kids, I actually got a roller hockey stick for Christmas.
You still haven't let this go, Liam. It's been 30 odd years.
It's been 28, 20.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah,
26 maybe. I got this roll. It was Nike as well. It was brilliant. Christmas Day, we all went outside, and James, being ever so good on rollerblades, gives a go.
It was like Torval and Dane.
Very, very quickly realised, when you see the cartoons and the people are running and the legs are going 10 to the dozen, but they're not going anywhere. He was doing that and decided to break his fall using my stick that I got that morning for Christmas.
Put a positive spin on it. You then had 2 sticks.
Yeah, fair enough. I did have a stick in 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad about that for about 5 minutes. And then I just got over it and forgot all about it. But it's nice to know that
I haven't.
Yeah, you're still holding that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for your birthday this year, I'll buy you a stick.
I just need some good stuff in my eulogy for you. That's all. Yeah. So unicycle hockey. That is.
Have a look. I've seen some bits on YouTube, and it's
all indoor, which is handy.
Yeah, it's all indoor. There's leagues of this in Australia, Germany. I think Germany have like 80 odd teams in it. Switzerland. So it's
What's really interesting is having a quick look on the old Wikipedia, and it's got like the competition, it's got the history, and then the title said notable players, and there's 2. There's actually people recognised for playing unicycle hockey.
I'm a big fan of Ted Jorgensen. He
was the first president of the unicycle club or something. It is ridiculous. Oh, do you know who his dad was? Who his son was? Theodore Jorgensen.
No.
His son is Jeff Bezos.
No.
Theodore
he is as well. Yeah. Spouses was Jackie Bezos, and then Yeah, 5 children, including Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
So Jeff Bezos' dad was how has this not come to light sooner?
How have we come completely like a weird full circle talking about unicycle hockey to the first chairman of the Unicycle Hockey Association is Jeff Bezos' dad.
This is what people tune in for.
I'll tell you, you don't get this on the Peter Crouch podcast, do you?
No. That is, mental, absolutely mental. So, yeah, well, gentlemen, I look forward to catching up on every single pot from next week's Saturday and Sunday of the World Snooker Championship. There is
Champions League this week as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, second legs. You've got the Chinese Grand Prix next weekend. There's a lot going on next week.
Yeah.
Just to put out something we don't really talk about much on here, and I'm not massively into it, but last night was UFC 300. It's the 300th UFC event. Has anyone seen anything from it?
No.
So they had I can't remember exactly how many fights there were, but it was like the best card of all time. And they were all like championship fights, previous champions, the best of the best. And in one of the fights, a kicker's caught one of the fighters on his belt line. So naturally, they stopped the fight and whatnot. And the ref stepped in, and the fighter that got kicked, stopped him and said no, and then just pummeled this, literally just knocked this guy straight out, as if to say, don't stop me, I'm going to knock him out now, and just did. And then in probably what would go down as one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history, there was a championship fight, so it was 5 rounds of 5, and both fighters had tore their UCL, so tore their not their anterior cruciate ligament. I can't remember what the U stands for. It's it's the inside, basically, cruciate ligament. So as the fight went on, they were both moving around less. So the last 10 seconds, one of the fighters gestures let's go in the middle of the ring and throw it down. So for the last 10 seconds, they're just swinging. 2 seconds left on the clock. He connects, and the guy is unconscious. Literally, the last second of the fight, this guy's head bounces off the canvas. It is the most incredible end to a fight you'll ever see. If you can, just go away, just have a look at it. You'll see it. If you just put in UFC 300 KO, it'll be that. This guy is asleep, and it's 25 minutes of just pure scrapping, both with big injuries, and he just knocks him out with a second left on the clock. It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
I'll look into that.
Yeah. Anyway, next week we'll catch up more with Jordan with the F1. See how James's unicycle hockey leagues are going, and I look forward to seeing what he's got next week.
Yeah, nice one.
Take care.
Later.
See you later. Ta-da, bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Sportscast podcast. As normal, you'll get us on our social media, Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, @SportscastPod UK. Join us again next week.